The weekend was
packed.
The weekend was fantastic. The weekend was fantastic. If you are a shower ranger or if you're a blood and fire comrade, the weekend had you feeling even more buoyant about what will happen for your party on September 3. You would have gotten a lot to take energy from. Mm-hmm. And it was the weekend of promises. What a weekend of promises. Rural Jamaica, hearing things that town never hear. And there were some things said last night that not even the parliament heard when the parliament expected to be told. But that's for another time. The income tax threshold argument is going to dominate the space for the rest of the week. There you go again, Dawn. I gave you space. Mm-hmm. Yeah? And, well, the income tax threshold and the income tax rate are going to dominate the conversations. And as I look at the announcement by the PNP president and the 3.5, I recall an incident that happened around his announcement of 3 million, his teasing of 3 million before the budget debate, and a story we carried based on some conversations we had, and then some behind the scenes moves to kind of control damage, and we helped to control the damage. Those conversations remain private. We'll never publish them, but just to say that, it's interesting now that 3.5 has come and the PNP is standing under a 3.5 banner as they look to entice those who weren't sure before if the comrades were worth a chance come September 3. They're giving those people something to work with. I come this morning to talk not about the debate from Saturday, which was well contested, I believe, and there have been many views on how the speakers fared, how the overall event went. I have an assignment tomorrow night, very important assignment with the second debate. So I'll tell you what I'm thinking about debates for the Saturday one, the leadership contest, Golding and Wholeness. Yeah? But this morning I've come to talk about this JLP Manifesto. No, I'm a manifesto reader, I must confess. From as far back as there were sections of them printed in the newspapers. I've been a manifesto reader. I would have a few boxes with cutouts from manifesto, the pullouts, supplements. Over time, over the years, paying keen attention to what the parties are saying that they want to do if they get office. I said in this space that the PNP manifesto was a good document, and it was, I believe. I found it funny that the PNP, every chance they get, they needle the labor rights about the one word that was spelled incorrectly one time. And the PNP has several spelling errors. But as I said then, and I'm saying now, I'm not holding anybody's feet to the fire for that. But notwithstanding the spelling errors, it was a good document, I believed. This JLP manifesto is, in my view, the most compelling and well put together document of this kind I have ever seen in this country. And I have looked at manifestos from small parties and established parties outside of Jamaica. It will take the very, very best ones to rival this, and this would be ahead because this is 2025. This is modern. It is thoughtful. It is deliberate. People don't say things are deliberate anymore. They swap it for intentional. That's a new buzzword. It is a work of contemplation. And I think when you go through the pages, and if you just limit yourself to the 100 highlights, if you just go through that document, then you see something that represents a national project. And the reason I'm saying and giving it the highest accolades, this JLP manifesto, is because I strongly believe that whichever party forms a government in any democratic, forward-thinking country, if it tells me that it is looking to pursue these policies, to implement these things, then that is a government that is on the right track. So if there was a supra-authoritarian body that was a little bit higher than the parliament, and it was to mandate that based on the policies put forward going into a general election, then the best manifesto or best selection of ideas would form a document that the party in power would have to implement. And if this were chosen, I think we'd all be fine, because this represents bits and pieces here, and then the substance of what this country needs at 63 years old. I'm going to raise just to zero in on a few of the things. And before I go further, you know, whatever we say here stirs up ill feeling. People stop thinking to listen to what we're saying. This is a product of Jamaicans, of us. So it's not like another party, another administration isn't capable of coming up with what the labor rights have delivered in this document, in these three documents. But we have to credit them because they have. All right? Watch this now. Among the 100 highlights, number 19 for me is significant. And I'm telling you why. Number 19 is something that you don't usually hear people talk about when they're talking about vote me into office and I'll do this for you. Tell me when in this country's history have you ever heard a debate, a discussion around a farmer's pension scheme? I've never heard it. I've never read it. I've never heard it. I've never seen it. I invite you in the chat if you've heard it debated elsewhere already, or those of you who have my number, you WhatsApp me and tell me, when have we ever discussed a farmer's pension scheme? Things like these cause me to appreciate the quality in this manifesto document. So that's number 19 in the 100 on the list. A farmer's pension scheme. The labor rights say they will create the first ever such one. I go forward to 42. And again, it's something that people say on the sidelines, but you've never seen this thing front and center in a national discussion. And here it is. 42 says, National Roof Repair and Room Completion Assistance Program. You know how much people can't do up their house? You know how many people roof leaking because I can only do it partially. I put on one room and I add on a little kitchen, but I can't put on the bathroom, so I still have something detached from the house. I'm a bed I want to do my business in. This thing now is front and center in a manifesto, a National Roof Repair and Room Completion Assistance Program. I'm leaving out the usual things that we talk about to death and talking about two things so far I've mentioned from this manifesto that you really, I've never heard of a farmer's pension scheme, and I've never seen a National Roof Repair and Room Completion Assistance Program articulated before. I go to 44. And this one we've heard talk of, but now it looks as if we're moving there. They say a new one road authority. So there's one authority that will tell you what specifications, what standards you should fix a road, regardless of which part of the road fix. Whether it's a scheme road, a main road, what the municipality run the road, a NWA road. You always hear these things when the roads are to be repaired. And the argument about whose responsibility it is bleeds into how the road repair is done, especially in our specific circumstances of an island. One road authority, the labor rights say. Go forward to 61 of the 100. And I told you that I went to university for 4 years. The first two, I had to do so with a student's loan. The last two, thank God, because if the 2 years of debt did hold me down, so I don't know what the 4 years of debt would have done. It says student loan to cover new housing, laptop, meals, and books. Again, and both parties have good things for persons who are taking students loan. I put that on the table. This is nice. So it's not just about the tuition, but you've helped me to pay the tuition, or you've paid the tuition for me. Well, it's me. It's my. I borrowed the money from you. It's my money because I have to pay it back. You lend me the money to go, but so many people struggle having gone there September morning or late August. And you struggle to stay there because the state said, well, I gave you a loan to go. I mean, you're there on your own. You can't afford nothing. I mean, you get the tuition, so what you going to do? This makes things far more comfortable. The student loan, the SLB helping with tuition and other things. And then I come to 74. Income tax relief for senior citizens. It says, we will exempt from income tax all earnings from employment and pension income for persons aged 65 and above, provided that your annual income from all sources does not exceed $6 million. I think this is very, very good for seniors. Look, I'm nowhere near 65 yet, but I'd want to get to 65. And I know how pension things stay in this country. Many people spend money, raise children, children leave, don't look back, they struggle hand to mouth, real tough after you reach pensionable age and you stop working. This is now to provide a significant form of relief for pensioners. So I'm saying, when you go through the 100, there are prioritized big ticket items that are spoken about in the media every day, that you hear at the think tanks, that you hear coming out of the policy forums. And then there are things that the real people speak about in the streets. The real students struggling to stay in university. Man tell me saying hungry till him a shake in their class at daytime. No food in him body. As a student loan recipient. A baby mother with children. Oh, and the labor rights also say, if you've had a child since 2022, and you enroll in a HEART program, you'll get a grant to help you to care for that child or children in some cases.
Point number 80.
Point number 80. These represent the results of people who are listening. And that's what you want from your politicians, listening. So what I'll say is this. By virtue of the way this document was prepared and the pullout, so education of a manifesto for itself, 100 bite size, and they go into the heavier document which talks about the past, what has been done, the plinth that has been set for the structure to be built atop it. The labor rights have set a new standard for themselves. They can't go back now to the full manifesto, no hurry come up kind of presentation, thoughtless, just blah, 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 blah. You know how Jamaicans are, especially the academics. If something is voluminous, they don't think it's substantial. This has volume. It has substance. And we're Jamaicans, so we do nothing without style and flair. The presentation had style and flair on Sunday evening. And it represents a good, very good collection of ideas. Better than good. Very, very good collection of ideas for where Holness and his team say they want to take the country. And for those of you who haven't read it, I commend it to you. And if you now have as much time, they've taken out 100 things for you to see 100 of what they say they will do the next term in office if they win that on September 3.